Second floor, deuxième étage, il y en a 11. Third floor, troisième étage, il y en a 11. Fourth floor, quatrième étage, il y en a 11. Going down, on descend.
steady and chest, yeah, and each have the leg.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much
you're
for your
welcome.
time.
You're very welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Take care. I think they found that, you know, they just keep digging. Um,
siya sila.
Thank you so much.